What's up, YouTube family? Man, I hope y'all having a blessed day. Hope y'all had a blessed week. I wanted to come on here, man, and talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for the past month or two. Um, I read this book right here called "Cry Like a Man" by Mr. Jason Wilson, and you might be familiar with him. I don't know, but he's based out of Detroit. And man, like this book here is powerful, man. It will make you or it will break you. And for me, it did both, to be honest. And I supposed to been make this video, but I was, reluctant to, and I was procrastinating. And but the Most High hand, it's been on me, man. So, now I ain't got no choice but to be obedient and make it. So that's what I want to talk about, like his book and how it affected me in my life. Um, so yeah, Cry Like a Man by Mr. Jason Wilson. Man, it's a phenomenal book, man. He talks about his life story and how, basically from the time, but even before he was born, how that affected all that affected the man that he is today, and the trials and tribulations that he went through, how pretty much it all led him to fully surrender to the Most High. And the Most High, He allows us to go through things just so we can run to Him, because we ain't got no other choice. And it's two stories out of his book that sticks out to me. One story being the time that he was actually playing football, and he was the best thing out there, and he was playing wide receiver. And from what I read, he was the biggest player out there. But he wanted these shoulder pads to make himself look even bigger than what he was. And it's crazy because he wanted these shoulder pads on one of the most important days of his football career. It was his championship game. So out of all the days and all the games that he wanted, it had to be, the championship game, which is funny to me. And I'm gonna get to that. But he ended up getting the shoulder pads, and it came down to the last play because of the shoulder pads. With him being a wide receiver, the shoulder pads caused him to miss the catch. He dropped the catch, and they lost the game. And I related so much to that story because not similar. I played basketball, but I don't have any correlation. Like as far as the story go, I don't have any correlation between the two, like the sports, as far as like what I went through with basketball. But just in my life, man, putting myself in situations that ultimately could have cost me my life. Taking on other people's beef. You know, growing up easily, I put myself in situations where people want to, because of me inserting myself in something that had nothing to do with me, they wanted to do that to me too. But because of the love they had for me and my family and my people, they didn't. So just that story of, putting himself in a situation with the shoulder pads, missing, the catch, losing the game, me putting myself in situations where I could have lost the game of life. You know what I mean? And that's one thing out of this book that I read, his story that I really correlated with, that I really it hit me. You know what I mean? As soon as I read it, it hit me, and that brought me back to. It took me back to my life. the things that decisions that I've made, choices that I've made that could have, got me up out of here, but the Most High had His hand on me. And another story that's funny to me is the Jamaican Elvis. So, Mr. Wilson, if you see this video, I want to hear, I would love to hear about the Jamaican Elvis. Could you go more depth into that story? Um, I got a question about that too, but I don't want to, ask that question on this platform. Like, not saying I got a platform, but just, I don't want to ask that question here. So the Jamaican Elvis, man, that was super funny. I would have reacted the same way, you know. But I know it also took wisdom, because you on a whole different, you ain't even, I don't know if you in the United States territory or not, but you somewhere else. Like, you ain't in Detroit, where that probably been handled different, or in somewhere else in the States where that would have been handled different. You somewhere else. Like, you ain't trying to go to jail or do anything somewhere else, way off somewhere. So that took a lot of wisdom, for you to even address that situation the way you did. And I commend you for that. That's an example for us as young men, as men, to think before we do stuff, to not be, even though emotionally you felt like he disrespected you, you still took time to process that situation. And because you took that time to process it, it allowed you to address it in a manner that wasn't disrespectful, but you were still stern and you still meant business. Oftentimes, as men, we don't know how to do that. Like we'll pick up a gun and shoot you. We'll stab you. We'll just bomb first and just hit you. When it could have just been an easy conversation. It could have just been a misunderstanding that could have easily just been, squashed or settled. But because of that, we jump out that window too quick because we don't know how to process it. And, I commend you for being able to process it. And it also let me know, okay, whenever I go through things, I feel disrespected, let me process it first before I even respond. In real time, I'm going to process it. And that's what I've been practicing. And I thank you for that. And to dig into my story, man, like, reading this book, man, it made me and it broke me, to be honest. My mic went out. I made a video earlier. My mic went out, so half of the video, man, it wasn't even, my mouth was just moving, bro. No words was coming out, so I'm checking the mic to make sure the mug's still working, man. But man, like, this caused me to really like dig deep into my life. That's why I'm kind of rambling, man. This is hard to talk about, man, because it's deeper than just a book review. Just being transparent. Like, I learned a lot of things about myself that I had hidden, that I didn't even know that I was hiding. Root causes of issues that I'm still dealing with to this day as a grown man. I'm 34 years old, still dealing with things that happened in my childhood. Like, that shouldn't be normal. That shouldn't be our norm. That just shows me the enemy strategically has a plan to destroy us for real. From the time even before we was born, some of us try to take out in the womb. You know what I mean? But he has a plan for us, man. The Most High has a better plan, but the enemy also has a plan. Like, that's why we in the conditions that we in. And for me, man, reading this book, To Cry Like a Man, I had to dig deep into my childhood, into my life to understand why I am the way that I am. And to be transparent with you, the root cause of my issues is rejection. Like, I realized I was rejected before I was even born. And like, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. That pain still there. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Yeah, I'm still dealing with that in real time. That pain still there. And my family didn't really like my mom like that. So in return, me as a kid, the rejection I faced just being a result of that. I can give you one story. I remember like being, I'm gonna check my mic, make sure this more. That I remember being like maybe 6 years old. My uncle bought this new motorcycle. It played music and everything. It was green, and I remember like all the kids on the block was lined up. We was all in the line at my grandma's house, and he gave all the kids a ride around the road on his new motorcycle. Now, mind you, I was the last in line. That's what's crazy. So I'm watching all these kids get a ride around the road on this new motorcycle. When my turn came, all of a sudden my uncle had to put the motorcycle up. Right? That's crazy. And all these kids get a ride around the road, but when my turn come, he had to put it up. And as a kid, you don't know how to process that. You just know that you just didn't get a ride on the new motorcycle. But I didn't know how much that affected me until I got older. And me and my grandpa, like we didn't have the best relationship. Um, I remember like, me and my cousin to get into a fight, whatever. And he would cuss me out and send me home. But my cousin, he'll pet him up. And that like that really took a toll on me, man. When you a kid facing that type of rejection, you don't know how to deal with that. So you expecting somebody who knows better to step up and defend you, but that didn't happen. That did not happen. You know what I mean? And because of that, I have a son. My son's 16, but throughout his years growing up, I overreacted to a lot of situations. I've caused hurt by overreacting and making sure that I'm there for him. But I overreacted. I don't want to get into no detail, but a lot of times I overdid it. You know what I mean? As a result of what I went through as a child. And that's what, like me and my dad, like that's what we kind of bump heads at because to be transparent, man, like their protection. You know what I mean? Like I'm a kid, man. You don't know. You can't defend yourself against grown people. You know what I mean? You just know how you feel in that moment. You know how they make you feel. And then and also like the rejection, man, being bullied by my older cousins. You know what I mean? The ones who's supposed to protect the little cousins, to be bullied by them. Like that was crazy too. You know what I mean? And that's when it's like, okay, a switch flipped in my mind. Okay, ain't nobody gonna play with me no more. So I picked up a gun. And after that, nobody played with me no more. Then that turned into, see, that's how the enemy do. Like strategically, now I'm like, I'm toting this old little gun with me everywhere, waiting on somebody to play with me, just so I can, you know what I mean? But the Most High in His grace never allowed a situation to happen that I had to use it. Like every time I was in a situation, I did not have a gun, so I was forced to fight. But when I had one, I never had to use it. The time that things did get crazy and stuff was going on, it jammed. So I still couldn't use it. You know what I mean? So, and all this, man, is a result of rejection. It's a result of my childhood. You know what I mean? And I never knew this until I read this book. Like when I read this book right here, man, it forced me to dig deep. It forced me to go back to my beginning. And and it also, as much as that hurt to go back to that and have to deal with that, um, it also showed me his love because he never rejected me. The Most High never rejected me. The Most High had his hand on me since I was born. I can tell you dreams that I've had. I remember as a kid. I can tell you things that I've seen as a kid, in my teenage years. I said something earlier about like putting myself in situations. I'll tell you one story. So I'm from this neighborhood called Whitney, and we had our own original like guys from my neighborhood that we was like we was a clique pretty much. So some guys from another neighborhood moved into our neighborhood, and they lived on my street, and I ended up getting real cool with them as well. So I'm hanging out more with them than I am my original friends. So the new guys who moved into my neighborhood and my original friends, somehow they started beefing with each other. So me, I chose to ride with my new set of friends instead of my old friends. I don't know why, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I was with them more. I started, with them being on my street, I was with them more than I was, you know, my, my original friends. So things led to other things, and some fighting broke out. Some fighting broke out, and my new set of friends, they ended up beating up somebody from my original set of friends, right? So one day I'm walking to another neighborhood, and I see like 8, 9 people walking to the same neighborhood I'm walking to. So I'm walking this way, they coming this way. So we kind of meet right here and just go down the street. So as I meet them, it's my old set of friends. It's like 8 of them. And they had somebody with them that I never seen before. But I can tell like he was, whatever he was on it. You know what I mean? And he had a gun in his pocket. He had a gun in his pocket. And, they was like, boy, but you wrong, boy. Then dude, he didn't pull it out of anything. He showed it to me like, boy, I do that to you, boy. And my old set of friend, they were like, boy, you lucky we love you, boy. You chose the wrong side, boy, we love you. And bro, they let me go, man. Man, they let me go, man. They didn't put no hand on me. They didn't do anything. They just said, boy, you lucky we love you, because we would have done that to you. And they let me go. And that situation ended up getting squashed eventually, but I inserted myself in something that had nothing to do with me, man. And I wasn't loyal to, I was a fake friend, you know what I mean? And that's something that I had to deal with as far as like being a fake friend. Cause like a lot of time we be like, man, I'm real, I'm real. But man, most of the time, man, we be fake too, man. And I was a fake friend, at that time, playing both sides. I almost got myself, shot or killed or whatever. Now, mind you, like, I ain't saying, like, I don't even want to get into that. Because I had people too, and that's another reason why they was like, boy, we love you, but we ain't, but they know what would have came behind that. But at the end of the day, it's like I put myself in that situation, and I never should have been in that situation, but the Most High hand was on me, you know, and when you deal with rejection, it causes you to make decisions that you normally wouldn't make. And I wanted to fit in with the in crowd. I wanted to fit in with the people who was what popular, you know what I mean? And I tried to do that just because I didn't want to face that rejection. And you can see the enemy just the whole time he just plotting. So enemy cunning, man. He's very cunning. And just having to deal with that, having to face that, having to admit that I was a fake friend and that I've been a fake person. You know what I mean? It ain't easy looking in the mirror. It's not easy dealing with your pain. It's not easy dealing with your hurt, dealing with the things that you faced since you was a child. That's not easy. It's hard. And Mr. Wilson talks about emotional incarceration. He talks about men being free from that and how we need to break that barrier and deal with our issues. Some of us as men, we don't cry. Now lately, the Most High been dealing with me about that. And have had my moments to where I'm bawling, I'm breaking down, Then there's moments where I'm making myself not cry because I'm trying to be tough. And that's not a good thing. Because now you just a ticking time bomb, And and it's crazy because I just recently went through a situation with somebody and it caused me to open the floodgates, man. Like, it caused me to literally, like, that heartbreak type of pain, man. I was in the bathroom, like, just being transparent with you. I was in the bathroom on the floor crying out to God, man, asking him to take the pain away. You know what I mean? From this heartbreak, man. It's crazy, man. Like, it's just so much that we as men go through that don't nobody acknowledge it, bro. Like, nobody acknowledges it, man. I don't know, man. It's hard to talk about, man. It's hard to talk about. I really just feeling like looking at the screen, bro. I don't even feel like talking for real. It's tough, man. It's tough. So if you like me, bro, you probably tired, bro. Cause I'm tired, bro. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. That's why I ain't really want to make this video, man. It's tough, man. That's all I can really say, bro. It's tough. But going through that, man, and then reading this book, it allowed me to see why, I am the way I am. And all I can really do is cry out to the Most High. All I can do is, get on my knees, pray, fast, get in His Word and seek Him, man. Because outside of that, bro, it's like, you just gonna drive yourself crazy, man. And I remember one time I was probably like 22, 21, 22. And this was before I gave my life to Christ and everything. I had my son, but I was just going through so much at that time. I remember I was sitting on the edge of my bed and I had a 40 cal, man. I had a 40 caliber in my hand and I was thinking about it. I was like, bro, I don't even want to be here, boy. Then I remember just like turning the barrel, like looking at it, like I ain't had my finger on the trigger, nothing. I was just looking at it, like contemplating. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've been there before. I've had them thoughts before. You know what I mean? It just it's tough, man. Mr. Wilson, man, you know, I wish you was down here somewhere, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like the people that's in Detroit and the surrounding area, they blessed to have you. But at the same time, for you, I know that that's also a heavy burden for you to carry all the time. Cause I'm sure you have your, situations too that you going through. And I know it's hard being the strong one all the time. It's hard being the one that you feeding, you pouring into others. But I just pray that the Most High have somebody pouring into you. You remind me of a modern day Moses. Um, I'm not comparing you to Moses. I don't want to put that type of burden on you. I'm just saying from the standpoint of how Moses led Israel out of captivity, out of Egypt. You leading a lot of us men out of emotional incarceration. You leading us out of mental bondage, emotional bondage. And me, I know, I've said I am tired. I am. It is hard, but I'm still running my race. I'm still putting the work in. And sometimes when you run the race, man, you do get tired. Like you gonna stop and take a break. You gonna, think about life. But you gotta get back on it and run. And that's what I'm doing, man. That's what I'm doing. It's tough, man, but that's what I'm doing, man. And I just pray that, you know, the Most High give you strength to keep running your race as well as pouring into us, man. Cause like we need it, man. Just like after Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt, whenever when they was at war, as long as Moses had his arms lifted, they was winning the battle. But whenever he dropped his arms, they started losing the battle. So, Mr. Wilson, I pray that the Most High has people around you that will lift up your arms whenever you get tired, man. I can't imagine the type of warfare that you go through doing what you're doing. Because the Most High specifically chose you for this mission, for this calling, for this purpose. A lot of things that we see on social media, on YouTube, it caters to, I'm going to keep it a buck, it caters to women. Like it caters to, everything else but us as men. There's not too many, if any, that's speaking life into us, more specifically black men. I know your ministry, I know your teachings affect many men of all different races or religions or whatever the case may be. But for us specifically, man, this is everything, man. Like this means everything. The Most High sending us, you know, you're somewhat like an angel to us, man. And I believe I speak for I speak for most of the brothers, man. Like you an angel to us for real, man. Because this ain't easy, but you doing the work and you helping to free us. Like you did the work and you showing us how to do the work. And I thank you for that, Mr. Wilson. For real, man. Yeah. So, man, if you seen this video, man, I just ask that you keep me lifted in prayers, man. And obviously, if you see this, I don't know who you are. You know what I mean? You can comment, and then I can specifically pray for you too. But if not, then I just pray the Most High. I pray that He blesses you. I pray that He give you joy. I pray that He give you peace of mind. I pray that whatever storm you're going through, that He gives you, you know, whatever you need to get through that storm, whether it be somewhat of a raincoat or umbrella, because most of the time the Most High not gonna take us. He not just gonna remove the storm like that. He gonna give us what we need in the midst of that storm to get us through. So I pray that He gives you whatever you need, whether that be strength, whether that be joy, whether it's peace, happiness, long suffering, perseverance, patience. I pray that He gives you whatever you need. And I pray that you don't grow weary. I pray that your faith increases. I pray that He blesses you 100-fold, man. To my sisters and my brothers, man, like y'all, the Most High, like He's all we got, man. Like we got each other, but without Him, we ain't got nothing. So I just hope that you acknowledge whatever pain you going through, whatever hurt you going through, whatever you've been through. I just pray that you acknowledge it and you give it to Him. Like this is a tough video for me to make, man, because I'm sharing things that I ain't never told nobody. You know what I mean? Some people might see this and feel some kind of way, bro, but at the end of the day, man, that's what I've been through in my life. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's tough, man. But Mr. Wilson, man, like, man, I thank you for this, man. Like this right here, it's a real eye opener for me. And you helped me unlock things. Thankful to the Most High that you helped me unlock things that needed to be unlocked, doors that I had shut that I had to open and deal with. And I really appreciate you for that. For real. YouTube, man, I love y'all, man. And I'll see y'all next video, man. Peace.